Hello. So on lesson echo, we are now on E for echo. Okay, we did Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and now we're on E. So on in homework Charlie, we studied exponential. Okay, we learned how to graph exponential, and then in homework Delta, we learned logarithms, how to graph, okay, the laws of logarithms, and how to expand and how to write as a single log. So here in this lesson, we're going to learn how to solve equations. Okay, so if you notice, when we say graph, we graph functions, but when we solve equations. Okay, so we're going to solve exponential equations, logarithmic, and then radical. Okay, I hope you remember your radicals rules, how to add, how to subtract, how to multiply and divide. Okay, so and then later in the part 2 of the lesson, we're going to graph radical functions. Okay, so let's just make a quick review on what type of equations did we learn so far in the school year. So we learned how to solve linear equations, something like this. I hope you know how to solve that. We also solve absolute value equations. This is an example. And we also solve quadratic, okay, by factoring, by quadratic formula, by completing the square. Okay, something that looks like this. In all of this, we always end up with x equals. Okay, so we're solving for the variable. We're solving for the unknown. Usually, we use the letter x. Okay, so let's start with solving exponential first, and then we go logarithmic and radical. Okay, so these are, I will give you 3 examples, okay, for solving exponential equations. So let's write our strategies here. So this one is our first example. 2 raised to x plus 3 should equal 8 raised to the exponent x minus 1. What is x? Okay, so the first strategy that you're going to use when you see equations like this to be solved, you will attempt to write the bases, convert them into the same base. Okay, so that is strategy number 1. We convert to the same base. Okay, so let's look at this one here. So 2 and 8 is our base. Okay, so you try to see if 8 is a power of 2. Okay, so if we can make this both into base 2, we cannot make this into base 8 because 2 to the base 2 to make it into 8, okay, are, yeah, 2 to make it into base 8 would be difficult. So why don't we just convert 8 to base 2? Okay, so let's just write this in standby. 2 raised to the power x plus 3. And what about 8? We're going to write that as 2 to the third. Okay, so 8 is also 2 to the third. So we made 8 into 2 to the third, and then we're going to raise it into x minus 1, like that. Okay, so the base is now 2. Now remember, okay, so this one again in standby. But here we have to use the law of exponents. So when you have an exponent raised to another exponent, what do? Remember, so say for example, if you have x to the 3 raised to 4, what do? Do you add? Do you subtract? Do you multiply? Okay, so you multiply. So that will be x to the 12, right? So we multiply. So the same way we're going to multiply this. So this will now be 2 raised to 3 multiplied to x minus 1. And then we have to distribute that. Okay, so let's continue. So this will be 2 raised to 3x minus 3. Distribute. Okay, so if you look at this scenario here, these two sides will be equal. 2 to what power is equal to 2 to what power? Okay, their power should be the same. So we will just say that this exponent should be the same as this exponent, as this number. So we're going to say, therefore, x plus 3 should equal 3x minus 3. Okay? So the base that are the same, so our exponents should also be the same. Okay? So now let's solve for the x that will make x plus 3 equal 3x minus 3. Okay, so let's join our like terms. So this will go to the other side and 3 will go to the other side. And of course, you change signs when you change sides. Okay, so this is negative 2x is equal to negative 6. Divide by negative 2x is 3. So this is our solution. X is equal to 3. Now let's check if x is really equal to 3. So let's say 2 to the x plus 3 should equal 8 to the x minus 1. And we found out that x is 3. So 2 raised to 3 plus 3, which is 2 to the 6. 2 multiplied 6 times will give you 64. So let's see if the other side is also equal to 64. 8 raised to 3 minus 1 is 8 raised to the second power, and that is also 64. So that's how you solve for the value of x. Okay? So can you try this one here using the same strategy? And I will see you in the next video.